My first 3 to 6 months as a full-time agent were interesting. I remember coming to the office and not really knowing what I was going to be doing that day, but sort of being forced to figure it out. And I personally learned really well by just hands-on experience. And so I would, try and talk to other experienced agents in the office. When I got my first listing opportunity, I, prepped really hard for it and just went and did it. And I knew that I would get those questions answered and get back to that client if I didn't know the answers.
When you have no actual agenda, no actual schedule, it made it a little tough just to figure out, okay, where do I even start with this whole thing? Once I figured out what to focus on and what to do on a day-to-day basis, it became a lot easier to function.
Learning all the systems, learning dot loop was a huge one. I know other brokers use different things, but something that allows you to do electronic signatures with your contracts. We did the shadowing in the beginning too. I had an opportunity to write my very first offer with the broker agent for our office, which was huge because you need to have that experience so the next time it's way more comfortable.
So I just stayed busy and got a lot of good systems in place and shadowed different agents.
I kept feeling like I didn't know what to do because I don't have a ton of clients. So I came to the office for about 4 days a week. And I just listened to what other agents are talking about throughout the office, how they engage with their clients, how they engage with other agents, what questions they were asking. And I went to every single class available to me. Because what else was I supposed to do? If I'm not out showing homes, I should probably be at the office with those things, the extra continued learning that I was looking for. So the training that was most helpful to me was meeting with a group of other agents that were also new in the business. So we talked about things that were happening, because what's happening in my world and what was happening in their world may be different, but I may learn from something they're going through.
If you have a time where you can sit with other new agents, and a lot of the experienced ones don't have time for that, but if you have a group of new agents that can talk about the things, hey, you'll never believe what happened last week, or I got this offer going and we've run into a snag here, how do you solve it? And you hear the whole room contribute ideas. That's the best training I've experienced thus far.
Another training that I found very helpful was the Buffini system. And so Buffini is a course that you can take, and it's a lot about how to work by referral. That's the route I wanted to go, more so than doing a lot more cold calling and stuff like that. So it's just one way that you can be successful in real estate, just working and asking for business and asking for referrals from the people in your sphere and people you already know already. So that system was very helpful for me to kind of learn how to communicate and ask for business from the people I knew.
I think having the fundamentals and activities laid out for you is important so that you have a focus every day when you're going into the office and what you're going to accomplish that day.
The most helpful training, honestly, just being present in an environment where real estate is happening. If I wasn't doing it, at least I was hearing other people talking about it.
I think the most challenging thing for me was probably learning how to budget. You may make $0 in a month and you may make a whole lot of money in a month. And I think learning how to set up a spending plan for yourself is really important, and also saving money back for taxes.
I think that's working with other agents outside of the brokerage is a bigger challenge sometimes. There's a variety of people that do this business, and not all of them treat you the same, and not all of them want to play by what you think is fair rules. And so negotiation standard, like how do you negotiate, how do you communicate, how do you make sure that everybody's happy, is a big one.
I think the most challenging part as a new agent is finding balance. I felt like at times I couldn't turn my brain off from real estate, where I was kind of getting burnt out and felt like I never got a break.
The paperwork was the hardest part. Again, I chose a brokerage that everyone in the office was committed to my success as well and wanted to help. So I remember running into someone's office and like, oh my gosh, can you help me write this offer? Because I have no idea what I'm doing. And you go through it once or twice and all of a sudden it just becomes natural.
Getting in front of enough business, I would say, to sustain yourself in the first year, that's the biggest thing. There's no paycheck if you don't sell a house. So being able to support yourself through probably what usually is a pretty thin first year is vital.
Yeah, so what was different about the industry than what I thought it was going to be would probably definitely be the time. A lot of people say I get into real estate because I want to make my own schedule. There's a lot of time in there that you need to make the time for your clients to go show properties or to go on listing appointments.
You know, when you're a real estate agent, you assume that you're just going to be showing beautiful homes all day long, and not every home is beautiful and clean and amazing. I think learning to navigate how to, pinpoint potential issues in those homes, both old and new, was something beyond my expectations.
Real estate is different than I imagined. I kind of always thought about everything that happens from when you meet the client to getting them an offer accepted on the house. Like, I thought it was, you meet someone at an open house, you show them a few houses, you negotiate the offer, and then like the bank kind of takes it from there and it's done. I've learned that the work is actually, once the offer has been accepted, to closing day, and even beyond that, there can be a lot of hiccups that the realtor is responsible for getting figured out.
I think my best advice for new agents in the first 12 months is to spend as much time in the office as possible. I feel like we have a lot of situations and scenarios that come up that we sort of talk about and bounce ideas off of each other.
Absolutely immerse yourself in the industry. Short sales and foreclosures, or new construction, or acreages, or senior living, the rental market, relocation.
Yeah, the advice I'd offer to new agents in the first 12 months would just be to keep at it and find a good mentor, find someone that you can meet with on a regular basis, who can guide you, who can coach you, and just keep you motivated.
You have to track two things. One, where are you going to keep track of your customers? Because those people that you meet early on, if you don't track them and keep track of them, you'll never get them back. The second thing that I recommend doing is tracking your income. You may have a bad 2 weeks, but when you have a bad 2 weeks, you look and say, I'm so far ahead of where I was, that will help you keep mentally on track.
Focus on continuing to learn through case studies, continue to get good systems in place, because once you are busy, you'll be so glad that you have those systems in place.
And staying engaged with all the clients that you have. So whether it's 1 or 2 or 5, stay totally engaged with those people, because those people are going to be your biggest advocates. And not just your past clients, your friends, your family. Those people are the ones who are going to be helping you in your business.